In today's world, where noise often drowns out subtlety, genuine intelligence frequently remains unnoticed. Niccolò Machiavelli, a master of understanding power dynamics, asserted that true intellect isn't merely about the volume of knowledge one possesses. What if the quietest person in the room is the most dangerous? Rather, it hinges on how that knowledge is wielded, who is privy to it, and how it is manipulated to shape outcomes. So, how can you discern if you possess a sharper intellect than the average person? It isn't indicated by academic accolades or professional titles, but rather by your perspective, adaptability, and your ability to foresee what others fail to recognize. Let's delve into the initial two indicators through a Machiavellian lens. The first sign reveals itself in your ability to maintain silence when others are clamoring for attention. The wise act swiftly while the foolish procrastinate. Most individuals struggle with silence. They hastily fill any void with chatter, opinions, and emotions. A quick like is your vote for more documentary content just like this. Support the format. If you need a constant source of profound questions and scientific puzzles, subscribe now to secure your access. But if you find yourself comfortably quiet amidst a crowd eager to assert themselves, it isn't a sign of shyness. It's a deliberate choice. This is significant because astute individuals comprehend that true power resides in restraint. The less you vocalize, the more others project intelligence onto you. By listening intently, you gather invaluable information that they willingly divulge. You wield your words as a strategic weapon rather than a reflexive response, aware that speaking prematurely can reveal your thoughts. Instead, you allow others to reveal themselves, mastering the art of being strategically invisible. You observe, bide your time, and let others underestimate you, knowing that their overconfidence may lead to their downfall. Have you ever wondered if your intelligence is a hidden weapon? In the Machiavellian framework, silence is not a sign of weakness. It serves as a form of camouflage. The more you understand this, the more you realize that not everything needs to be articulated. Most things should remain unspoken. This reflects a mindset that values information over attention. You possess the ability to delay gratification, a hallmark of strategic intelligence, and you find comfort in uncertainty. Unlike the foolish who rush to fill the void of the unknown, you embrace it. The second sign is your uncanny ability to discern the true motives of others. While most people perceive only what is presented, you delve deeper, recognizing that appearances can be deceiving. When someone claims to assist you, you instinctively sense the strings attached. If a person expresses anger over one issue, you can often uncover the underlying frustration rooted in something entirely different. This isn't a symptom of paranoia. It is a demonstration of your exceptional pattern recognition, making you a formidable presence. You interpret intentions rather than merely listening to words, constantly scanning for micro-expressions, shifts in tone, and insincere displays of enthusiasm. You remain undistracted by the facades people wear. You are impervious to charm, flattery, or guilt, making you a challenge for manipulators as their tactics fail against your discerning mind. In relationships, you play the long game, while others become emotionally enmeshed too quickly. Could your ability to observe and remain silent make you more powerful than you think? You observe how individuals reveal themselves over time, not just through single statements, but through repetitive behaviors that often escape their own awareness. Machiavelli would recognize this as a profound form of intelligence, one rooted not in raw intellect but in psychological clarity. You understand that humans are rarely completely honest, and your ability to see through the lies behind smiles renders you nearly unplayable in social interactions. This insight reveals that you trust patterns more than promises, having learned from past betrayals. That pain has transformed into a sharper perception. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. These two signs alone position you as a significant force in any social setting. Not because you dominate the conversation, but because you see through the facade. When someone possesses clarity, they become unmanageable. However, here's the paradox. Being smarter than most can often lead to feelings of isolation. It makes you quieter, more difficult to deceive, and paradoxically, harder to connect with. Many individuals shy away from confronting their own reflections, and in this way, you have become a mirror. To summarize, consider this. Do you prefer silence to noise, focusing on how people behave rather than what they say? Do you refrain from taking others at face value, always searching for the deeper motives? Is it possible that true intelligence is often mistaken for something else entirely? If these resonate with you, congratulations. You are already operating at a level few ever reach. But this is merely the beginning. In the next segment, we'll explore how you can wield curiosity as a formidable tool, why boredom never plagues you, and the subtle Machiavellian strategy of not needing to prove your intelligence to anyone. Are you ready to dive deeper into the mind that perceives what others overlook? True intelligence is seldom loud. It doesn't seek applause or validation. It operates quietly, strategically, and with lethal precision. In Machiavelli's world, intelligence wasn't just an academic virtue. It was a crucial survival skill. To be intelligent meant to grasp the concealed game at play, and to utilize that insight before others even realized they were being manipulated. If you see yourself in the first two signs, the ability to remain silent and the capacity to discern others' motives, then you are already functioning on a rare level. Yet, the twist remains. The more intelligent you are, the more your brilliance may remain hidden. Let's proceed. The third sign you embody is that you wield curiosity as a weapon, rather than treating it as a mere pastime. While the majority of humanity settles for surface-level appearances, average minds cease questioning once they feel secure. But you are different. Your curiosity transcends casual interest. It is strategic and relentless. You seek not just to understand how things function, but to uncover why they operate the way they do, who benefits from them, and how to manipulate the system to your advantage. This is what it looks like in reality. You don't merely follow trends, you dissect and deconstruct them. Your focus lies not on the content itself, but on the trajectory of someone's influence. You analyze how movements gain momentum, rather than just the messages they convey. Your curiosity extends beyond mere outcomes. You question the very fabric of the systems in place. Who established these rules? Who stands to gain if I stumble? What advantages do I forfeit by adhering to the conventional path? This insatiable curiosity keeps you unpredictable. While the majority of individuals become set in their ways by the time they reach 25, you remain fluid, continuously learning, unlearning, and evolving. This adaptability renders you elusive. Machiavelli would have admired your approach. He believed that to wield power, one must grasp the mechanisms of control more thoroughly than those who created them. Your relentless curiosity serves as a sharp blade, slicing through illusions and revealing profound truths about your intellect. You have come to understand that information is a source of leverage. You delve into power dynamics rather than simply gathering opinions. You have an innate ability to connect dots that others overlook, crafting insights from seemingly disparate pieces of information. One of the most subtle indicators of high intelligence is your almost perpetual state of engagement. You are rarely bored, and there's a reason for that. Your mind operates like a finely tuned weapon, always active. While others require constant external stimulation, be it through apps, games, or drama, you can find solace in solitude, conjuring entire worlds within your thoughts. You simulate conversations, strategize, and play with concepts, all while reflecting on nuances that escape the notice of most. This isn't mere imagination. It represents a form of mental autonomy. You possess the ability to think deeply without distraction, not due to sheer discipline, but because your mind is innately exploratory. You construct mental frameworks to navigate life. While others may recall random facts, you build intricate systems, philosophies, hierarchies, and timelines, storing them as tools for future use. You resist the world's incessant clamor because your sense of vitality doesn't rely on external input. In many ways, you are your own algorithm. Machiavelli, who meticulously studied the nature of power in solitude, would recognize this as one of the greatest advantages one could possess. While most individuals are enslaved by distractions, your ability to find stimulation in silence places you ahead of 95% of the population. You can engage in abstract thought without succumbing to fatigue. Your mental and emotional self-reliance makes you formidable in stillness, a state where your mind sharpens and refines itself. Then there's the paradox of high intelligence. You feel no compulsion to prove your intellect. Machiavelli asserted that it is far more advantageous to be feared than loved when the choice must be made. The most astute individuals seldom boast about their intelligence. They don't flaunt their credentials or correct others for the sake of showing off. Have you ever felt that current science or history is missing a vital piece of the puzzle? Share your theories. Let's discuss this below. Why is this the case? Because they understand a crucial truth that eludes many. The moment you feel the need to demonstrate your intelligence, you have already relinquished power. You recognize that the more you expose yourself, the more predictable you become. Smart individuals don't advertise their acumen. They allow others to underestimate them, silently positioning themselves for strategic advantage. Your measure of value is based on effectiveness rather than applause. You don't require others to acknowledge your brilliance. Instead, you need them to act in accordance with your desires, without realizing they've been guided. You've witnessed how being right can often be the most foolish stance to take. Arguments do not shift power, influence does, and you are consistently playing the long game for influence. Machiavelli advocated for the appearance of being less capable than one truly is, a tactic employed by historical figures like Caesar, Napoleon, and modern leaders alike. This isn't about projecting weakness, it's about strategic concealment. You have transcended the ego's trap of seeking validation. You wield humility not as a moral stance, but as a tool for manipulation. Intelligence to you is measured by outcomes rather than impressions. Now, as we delve deeper into the essence of Machiavellian intelligence, it becomes clear that being smarter than the average person is less about possessing more answers and more about asking better questions, making sharper observations, and exercising the discipline to conceal your abilities until the moment is right to reveal them. Let's summarize the 3 signs we've explored so far. You utilize curiosity as a precision tool, dissecting rather than merely absorbing knowledge. You remain engaged and never experience boredom because your mind is in a constant state of creation and analysis. You feel no need to showcase your intelligence, as silence grants you greater control than any argument could. The final 2 signs are the most lethal, as they unveil why you can influence others effortlessly and why you may often be misunderstood, envied, or quietly feared. If you're still with me, it's likely because a part of you already senses the truth. You are not like most people. Your intelligence is not loud. It doesn't seek attention. Instead, it observes, listens, and maneuvers with quiet precision. Machiavelli never equated intelligence with academic accolades or societal status. To him, true intelligence was about mastery over oneself, others, and the outcomes of situations. The rarest and most astute minds are not those who dazzle with brilliance, but those who subtly shape the world around them. Having grasped the power of restraint, curiosity, and invisibility, we are now poised to uncover the last two signs, those that will reveal your mastery over human nature, whether you realize it or not. Can you truly make others believe that an idea was theirs? The wise know when to engage and when to retreat, but when they must act, they do so with unwavering resolve. This is the hallmark of a truly dangerous mind. Here's how this manifests in your daily interactions. You possess the skill to plant ideas rather than impose them. Instead of bluntly telling someone they are mistaken, you pose questions that encourage them to reevaluate their own beliefs. Rather than announcing your intentions outright, you craft scenarios that lead them to believe the idea originated with them. You allow others to feel empowered while subtly guiding their thoughts. Many people desire a sense of control. You grant them that sense, provided it aligns with your overarching strategy. You tailor your insights to bolster their self-esteem, not your own. You recognize that individuals do not change merely because of facts. Transformation occurs when their identity is engaged. Thus, you never confront directly. Instead, you reshape perceptions. This represents one of the most sophisticated forms of social intelligence. It's not about manipulation for its own sake, but rather about steering without resistance. Machiavelli understood that people detest being persuaded, yet they revel in being validated. If you can master this art, convincing someone that your idea was their own revelation, you will wield an influence that feels both effortless and enduring. What this reveals about your intellect is profound. You do not seek acknowledgement, you seek results. You have transcended the childish desire to be right. You've transformed humility into a formidable strength. Now, let's delve into sign number 7. You do not react impulsively, you calculate your responses. A wise leader must never remain loyal if it contradicts their interests. This is the cold, final sign of genuine intelligence. You refrain from emotional reactions. You don't lash out or act out of hurt, embarrassment, or provocation. Instead, you observe, absorb, and wait before responding with precision. Why is this trait so uncommon? Because most individuals are enslaved by their emotions. When insulted, they snap. When challenged, they defend. When betrayed, they crumble. But not you. You've conditioned yourself, or perhaps life has shaped you, to respond as a strategist rather than a victim. Here's what that looks like in practice. You create a space between stimulus and reaction. When provoked, you deny them the satisfaction of a response. You leave them in doubt, uncertain if their words affected you at all. That's psychological warfare. You play the long game in every conflict. If someone wrongs you, you resist the urge to react on impulse. You bide your time for the moment that serves you best. Then, when you act, the impact is devastating. You prioritize outcomes over emotional expressions. You prefer to win rather than vent your frustrations. You would rather shift the dynamics than lament about the constraints. This mindset renders you unstoppable. Machiavelli believed that emotions are luxuries the powerful cannot afford. You, whether through hardship or practice, have come to understand this truth. Your intelligence doesn't just analyze the present, it anticipates the future, maintaining an unreadable facade in the moment. What does this reveal about your mind? You govern your emotions with self-discipline. You don't require fairness from the world. What you need is comprehension. You've exchanged emotional responses for strategic leverage. Now let's take a moment to reflect. Many people equate intelligence with high IQ, logic puzzles, or having the right opinions. But Machiavelli would chuckle at that notion. For him, and for you, true intelligence lies in the ability to see without being seen, to influence without coercion, and to win without displaying your desire to triumph. And that's why most will never recognize your intellect until it's too late. You have traversed the 7 signs. So, let's recap. You are more intelligent than the majority, the Machiavellian way. You observe silently while others speak, gathering valuable insights. You penetrate through facades to discern true intentions. You wield curiosity as a weapon, not a mere distraction. You never succumb to boredom. Your mind entertains itself. You refrain from proving your intellect, focusing instead on strategic moves. You allow others to believe your ideas were theirs, all while remaining in the shadows. You don't react. You calculate. If these traits resonate with you, then you are not merely intelligent. You possess strategic intelligence. In a Machiavellian world, that's the only type that thrives. But there's one final truth you must acknowledge. This is something Machiavelli would whisper only to his most devoted disciple. Being smarter than others carries a significant cost. If you've identified with these 7 signs, you already stand apart from the masses. Yet Machiavelli would caution you with a harsh reality. It is not titles that confer honor upon individuals, but rather individuals who bestow honor upon titles. In essence, your intelligence is meaningless if the world cannot comprehend or accommodate it. Being more intelligent than the majority is not the blessing you might imagine. It can be a burden, a risk, a concealed curse, because the world is not designed for those with exceptional intelligence. It is structured to control them. Unless you learn to navigate this landscape, your brilliance may devolve into bitterness. Your insights might lead to isolation, and your power could remain unutilized, feared, or misinterpreted. With this awareness of your rarity, what will you do next? First, accept that misunderstanding is part of the journey. This is the initial price you pay for intelligence. You will articulate thoughts that others cannot grasp, and they may label you arrogant. You will caution against unseen dangers, and they might call you paranoid. You will envision outcomes 10 steps ahead, and they may accuse you of overthinking. You will often find yourself feeling alone. And on many days, that loneliness will seem unjust, as though you are being penalized for your clarity of thought. But here's what Machiavelli would advise. The first method for gauging the intelligence of a ruler is to examine the company he keeps. In other words, your solitude serves as a filter, not a failing. In other words, your solitude serves as a filter, not a failing. When you find yourself constantly surrounded by individuals who lack insight, resist growth, and shy away from transformation, it indicates that you are operating on a distinct intellectual plane. It's not your responsibility to elevate them. Instead, Focus on discovering those who can journey alongside you. Always remember, your intelligence does not belong to anyone else. You shouldn't feel compelled to dilute it for the sake of fitting in. Let them misinterpret your abilities. This is simply a part of your strategic disguise. Moreover, cultivate a network rather than a mere crowd. Mediocre minds yearn for approval, while those with sharper intellect seek understanding. Strategically minded individuals desire allies, not just superficial friendships. If you possess superior intelligence, one of the gravest dangers lies in squandering your potential on those who drain your vitality, squander your time, or incessantly question your motivations. Machiavelli would counsel you to maintain a tight-knit, formidable inner circle. Avoid pursuing applause. Instead, seek out those who challenge your thinking and sharpen your intellect without dimming your brilliance. Utilize everyone, but place your trust in few. Be kind, but remain guarded. Be generous, yet keep your true self concealed. You are not merely forging friendships, you are constructing a network of influence that is strategically beneficial. Guard your mind as if it were a stronghold. Your intellect is rare, and rare things often evoke envy. Never allow someone else's confusion to cause you to doubt your own clarity. Your intelligence is not merely for display, it is a weapon, and like any weapon, it demands precise handling and protection from those who would seek to steal it. Next, focus on mastering emotional control, as this may be the most pivotal aspect of your growth. Many intelligent individuals falter, not due to their mistakes, but because they lack emotional discipline. They allow frustration to tarnish their image, passion to sabotage their patience, and truth to overshadow the importance of timing. However, it's crucial to grasp this concept. Men often judge more by appearances than by reality. People see what you project, but few truly comprehend who you are beneath the surface. You need not be genuinely calm. You simply need to present a calm facade. You don't have to be genuinely friendly. Appearing approachable is sufficient. In the real world, being correct is not enough. You must also be liked, trusted, or at the very least, instilled with a sense of fear. Achieving these outcomes requires emotional strategy, not just raw intelligence. Begin by practicing non-reactivity. Let others lose their tempers, engage in arguments, and reveal their vulnerabilities. Your victory lies in choosing not to partake in the chaos. Use your emotions as a mask rather than a reflection. Don't expose your true feelings. Instead, reveal only what others need to see to achieve your desired outcomes. Exercise patience like a ruler. You don't need to showcase your intelligence immediately. Sometimes the most astute move is to wait until your adversary unwittingly steps into your trap. Finally, turn your intellect into leverage. Raw intelligence alone does not equate to power. It is the application of that intelligence that wields true control. You've already established that you are more astute than the average person. The ultimate maneuver, the Machiavellian tactic, is to convert that intelligence into influence. Transform your knowledge into valuable assets. If you grasp psychological principles, begin to sway others. If you understand systems, start constructing your own frameworks. If you can identify patterns that elude others, leverage them to predict and profit. Engage in multiple endeavors simultaneously. While most operate in a single dimension, you have the capacity to think in broader terms. So, act accordingly. Cultivate wealth, forge alliances, and build a reputation that leaves others questioning your methods. Never allow anyone to fully discern your capabilities. If they uncover the entirety of your brilliance, they will seek to control you. Thus, Keep portions of your genius concealed, revealing only what serves your interests. Let an air of mystery do half the work for you. Machiavelli believed that genuine power stems not from one's possessions, but from what others perceive you to be capable of. Allow them to underestimate you, to misinterpret your intentions, and to forget your true potential, until it's too late. As I conclude, remember this message from one exceptional mind to another. You are not insane for feeling different. You are not emotionally detached for thinking clearly. You are not flawed for being misunderstood. You belong to a select group capable of observing, learning, and leading in this world without requiring applause, permission, or a crown. The lion cannot guard against traps, and the fox cannot defend itself from wolves. Therefore, one must embody the cunning of a fox to recognize dangers and the ferocity of a lion to intimidate threats. You've already demonstrated your cunning. Now it's time to embrace your inner lion. Utilize your intelligence, not merely for survival, but to shape the world around you. For when rare minds remain silent for too long, the world falls under the dominion of fools who merely appear wise. And we all know that leads to chaos. So, step forward, engage in a different game, and emerge victorious without ever revealing your full hand. A quick like is your vote for more documentary content just like this. Support the format. If you need a constant source of profound questions and scientific puzzles, subscribe now to secure your access. And in the next video, we'll discover how to become dangerously valuable, Machiavelli's dependency trap.